message says what? Diagnosis of a fool's heart. So you're going to be doctors to diagnose somebody's heart today. And probably diagnose your own heart too. When I came back, remember I was away, and then I came back during the midweek prayer. I heard that the person who preached that day, preached on the heart. I said, what? Maybe because I was preparing for this message already. Then I found out that he gave you the treatment that I'm giving you, the diagnosis. And so the treatment has come before the diagnosis. I don't know how good that will be. Okay? So we are going to discuss diagnosis of a fool's heart today. When you go to the doctor or the nurses, there are four methods that they use to check to see how you are doing. Four basic methods. Every nurse, every doctor uses that. They use it to make their decisions about what you have presented, because what you present, they call it a current complaint. Because you might have come with another complaint 2 years ago, a few weeks ago, but this is what? The current complaint that you are bringing. So they use four things. Those four things are what? Observation, listening, asking, and feeling. They most use that. And you will agree with me that the right environment to get this done is either in a clinic or most preferably where? In a hospital. Isn't that so? Yeah. The one that your husband does when you say, I don't feel well, that's, that's between you and your husband. And, between you and your wife. But the one that counts is the one where the doctor uses, because what? The doctor is trained, the nurse is trained to do those things. You don't know how they do it. So, now let me ask you, if those things are not, do you think they are very comprehensively correct? Can you depend on them that there is no mistake? Can there be mistake? Yes. Even though the doctor, they all are trained to use observation, to listen, to ask, to feel, to diagnose you. But now, you go to every doctor, they use that. But that does not mean that all of them, when they come out, that they are correct. Right? Because if it were not so, why would you go to Dr. B after going to Dr. A to get a second opinion? Because all of them would use the same thing, right? Isn't that so? That's right. But this is physical healing that you are looking for. Your problem that you are presenting to them is a physical problem. There are spiritual components to our problem as well as mental. Don't you believe so? Yes. When you go to a doctor, you present him your physical problem, but you also know that there is what? A spiritual problem and a mental problem. Now you've gone to the doctor, you've gone to the hospital, maybe out of Florida, for the physical problem. Where do you then go for the spiritual and mental problem? You have a spiritual problem, you have a physical problem. Where do you go to have that taken care of? There is another hospital called the church. Right? You go to a hospital called the church. We already know that every hospital has caregivers, and the church, the hospital, is not an exception. Here we meet another set of proclaimed caregivers. The scripture we just read says that God looked down from heaven to check out the same emergency room you have been taken to, and he couldn't find anyone qualified to render any care to you, because what? They are all sick. The language used here can be translated as being what? Stupid. Bunch of know-nothings that you meet in church. But you have taken your problem to them, but you are seeing that they are what? They don't qualify. So what makes them think that they can take care of you when you have brought your spiritual problem to them? What makes you think that you are better than the other person because you are here, you are presenting yourself as a caregiver, and he has come here for you to take care of him, spiritually and mentally, and you say, yeah, I will take care of you. But looking inside, you can see. So the church caregivers, let me call them church practitioners. Is that okay? What qualifies a church practitioner to stand as your caregiver? The only reason they give you is what? They were here before you got here. They were here all the time. They have been here longer than you, but they have been here longer than you, and they are still sick. If you see somebody like that, who is sick, even though he has been... Let me ask you a question. Will you go to a hospital where you know somebody is suffering the same thing that you are suffering, but he has been in that hospital for 10 years and he has not been taken care of? You still go to that hospital? But it looks to me that the church practitioners use the same methods that we talked about. Observation, listening, asking, feeling. Except that they may not use the feeling part of it in their decision of a person's spiritual or mental well-being. But it has embraced these same things in such a way that they call it, when they look at you, they say, that's that person's Christianity. They evaluate you and say, this is your Christianity. Because what? They have observed you, they have listened to you, and probably they have asked you some questions. And from your answer, they say, this is his level of Christianity. But that does not mean that they can take care of you, or that they are more qualified to take good care of you. So where do they base their diagnosis then? If they are not qualified. Let us pray. Our Father in heaven, we have a problem. We have a problem of the heart. And there is no other person who can take care of this problem, Lord, other than you. Please, Lord, I pray that you come into our hearts and make us what you want us to be. Help us, Lord, to stop pretending and be who you want us to be. And Lord, I pray that even when we are stubborn, when we refuse to listen to you, when we refuse to go through the process of your treatment, Lord, please stay longer until we listen, until we obey, so that we will be with you one day in paradise. I pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Diagnosis of a fool's heart. It must have been something frustrating to the prophet Jeremiah, trying to figure out what could be going on in man's heart. The conclusion of his findings, published in Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9, tells us the level of his frustration. It is a futile effort. I don't know what your conclusion will be. When you talk to somebody and you decide on something with somebody right now, and then the next minute you hear the person or you see the person doing something different. I don't get it. I've wasted all my time. And my brothers and sisters, I'm asking you, don't put yourself through such an ordeal. You will not get anywhere, no matter your relationship with the person. The heart is deceitful. Isn't that what Jeremiah 17 verse 9 says? The heart is what? Deceitful. Above what? All things. And desperately what? Wicked. Who? Who can know it? Who can know it? So if you Try your best. No matter how well you try, even if it is your husband, your wife, your mother, your father, whoever it is, you try your best. What they tell you may not always be what it is. The heart is desperately deceitful, desperately wicked. Don't put yourself in that position where, because what you are going to be disappointed at one time. So coming to that I felt that no amount of time you spend trying to figure it out will yield anything that you want. I know, however, someone who knows every detail of every man and every woman's heart. Read the next verse. The next verse said, I, the Lord, does what? I, the Lord, search them. I try the reins. I not only search the heart, I can examine the mind and give you all its details. Exactly as they are, and not as they pretend to be. Do you hear that? When God does his own diagnosis of your heart, he is not telling you what you pretending to be showing to the people. He is telling you what you are going to be doing tomorrow after the discussion. So, nothing is hidden from me, God is saying. I go deeper. Medical practitioners ask how long a condition has been. Why do they ask you that? You bring your child and they ask you, when did he start vomiting? Why do you need that? What I need is to stop the child from vomiting. They want to know how long has it been. So because what they have seen experiences, they have experiences. If the person vomits for so long, this is what it may be. If this person is doing this for so long, this is what it may be. Because you can just say, somebody has headache, and you say, oh, give him Tylenol. The doctors want to know, when did it start? Is it something that persists? Is it something that comes and goes? Why? Because they want to associate it with their experience. Right? That's what they do. And their things, whatever decision they make is based on those findings. But God says, I don't need to say, to find out how long. I can tell you right now. I can tell you right now what it is that is in your heart. Whether it is foolishness, God can prove your foolishness right now, right at this moment. It is not difficult for God to diagnose in your heart and tell you that what you are thinking is foolish. You can't just tell someone anyway that he or she is foolish without good reasons to back up your statement, right? Can you? Please don't take that risk. No matter how well you know somebody, don't take the risk of telling somebody that he or she is talking like a foolish person. You better have something to back yourself up. If you ask my opinion, I would say, don't go there if you can't prove it. Don't try. But let us search the scriptures. Let us search the scriptures and see what the scripture tells us about how we can find a person talking or being foolish. Let's go to Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. Matthew chapter 12, verse 34. Like I told you that the nurses, like when you come to the emergency room, you may think that the time that the doctor or the nurse knows what you have or can tell what you have is the time when you are sitting there with them. No, they watch you. If you're a good nurse, you watch the person before the person comes in. As the person, even when the person is coughing there in the waiting room, when the person is breathing there, as you walk in, they are watching you. They know. But here, this one is in Matthew 12:34. A fool makes the diagnostic task easy for you. You don't have to wait too long because, as the Lord tells us in Matthew 12:34, you only have to listen to the fool. Because anything you hear from him or her is evidence of what is in the heart. It is a production of the heart that you are listening to. An overflow, if I may analyze it further. It is an overflow of what is in his heart that he is what? Bringing out. We don't always say good things that make sense to other people, whether you agree or not. So what will I say that a person can, without prejudice, conclude this is a foolish talk? Do you think there are certain things that you can say that somebody will, immediately the person hears it, being fair to you, the person can say, Anucha, this is a foolish talk. I decided to go to a man after God's own heart, King David himself, to tell me how I can find that out. In where we read Psalms 14 verse 1. The fool has said in his heart, what? There is no God. The first indication to you that a person is harboring foolish intention is hearing the person say that there is no God. You need not know or go further. As a church practitioner, the moment a person steps in and says to you that there is no God, start preparing the treatment for fools. I can see King David frustrated. I can see his frustration there. Listening to a person make a statement that indicates some doubts in the belief of the existence of God. How would you look at somebody like that? His conclusion, you are out of your mind. Don't you think so? Hello? Don't you think so? If somebody tells you that there is no God, wouldn't you think that person is out of his mind? Yes. You won't be a fool to conjure that feeling. God has made himself evident in my life. Hasn't God done that to you? Has God been evident in your life? Hello? Yes. And there is no doubt in my mind that he exists. Is there any doubt in your mind that God exists? No. You must be one of those corrupt minds. No good to the society for you to entertain a feeling in your heart that there is no God. So how about you? Are you on the same side with David? Or are you sometimes finding yourself wonder if God exists? Are there some times in your life when you wonder, does God exist? Brothers and sisters, ask yourself, I don't know what your current complaint is. Remember, I told you, when a patient comes, he presents what we call what? Current complaint. What is your current complaint? Which complaint did you bring to church today? What is it that brought you to this hospital called church today? Is this complaint making you have an inclination to doubt there is a God who created heaven and earth? In other words, is your complaint sometimes driving you to live your fool's moment? Thank God, it is not for a long time, right? Hello? I thank God it is not for a long time, isn't it? Okay. If you want to linger longer, I don't know. You probably haven't looked up. You need to look up sometimes, brothers and sisters. I don't know what the problem is, but don't stop looking down every time you have a problem. Look where? Look up. The psalmist, seeing the firmaments, concluded that this must be the handiwork of who? Of God. Haven't you read it? The heavens declare what? The glory of God. Even then, he still says that nothing that he has or that he is looking at can help him, but that his help comes from who? From the Lord. There were many people in Jericho. You know that? When the Israelites were coming out from Egypt. Guess how many people saw the power of God? One woman. One woman that you will, if you see her coming down here today, you will not pay attention to her. Amen. If you know her business, you will declare her condemned. But that was the only one who said, we saw, we heard about you. And we were doing what? We were what? Shivering. We shivered when we heard about you. Well, what did she hear? About your God, how God delivered you. She heard. She was a Gentile woman. She didn't come from a place. She was not a Jew. But she did what? She heard about your God. Did she doubt? No. She trusted the God that she heard about. Look at what you have done. Your God parted the Red Sea. My brothers and sisters, I don't know, hasn't God parted the Red Sea in your life? Why do you doubt him then? How you defeated all the other countries on your way here. Hasn't God defeated the enemy in your life? Why do you doubt him then? We heard. And there were many other people who heard as Rahab did. But none of them trusted like Rahab. So because of her trust in God, she said, I'm asking not just for myself, but for my family. And they were saved because of her trust in God. Can God save your family because of your trust? Do you trust God enough that you can depend on him, that you can say, God, this family is messed up. There's no other person who can save this family other than you. Do you trust God that way? I don't know. Maybe you're going through a sickness. Maybe this sickness looks or it sounds like it is worse than all the sicknesses that you have gone through before. But the same God who parted the Red Sea will one day send manna from heaven. Is that a different God? No. The same God who parted the Red Sea will tell people who were beaten by snakes, look, that was not even a real snake, but one formed according to how God told Moses. And those who looked did what? They lived. What is your problem today? You've come to the hospital. I don't know who told you to come to this hospital. People make choices which hospitals they go to, right? There are so many hospitals, but sometimes you pass the one closest to you and you go to the next one. You go to one that is far, far away. It is your choice. You made your choice to come to this hospital today. Hello? So you get what you have, what you are looking for. Our hearts melted, she said, for the Lord your God, he is God, where? In heaven above and in earth beneath. So, my brothers and sisters, wouldn't it be shameful to allow the heathens, the people that you and I, we wear our prayer warrior t-shirts to go and preach to, and then after preaching to them, they show more trust in God than you and I. God forbid. God forbid. We want to represent God. We want to represent God as God's children. Has God done anything in your life, brothers and sisters, that gives you the assurance beyond all doubts? There is a God in heaven who cares for you. Is he worthy to be called your God in good and bad times? Can you say, though the heavens fall, he is still my God? Can he depend on you that even when faced with a fiery furnace, threatened to increase the burning capacity of the furnace, you would choose to be charred, burnt to ashes, instead of bowing down to another God? Can God trust you that much? Psalm 19 verse 1 says, the heavens declare the glory of God, and the firmaments do not what? The firmaments show his handiwork. You are God's handiwork. Do you believe that? Yes. And if you are God's handiwork, I believe God will take good care of you. Yes. He will take good care of you. He will take good care of me. I believe that. Do you believe that? Yes. Yes. No matter what you're going through, God will take care of you. Now, what is the result? Everything we do in this life has its own consequences. You believe that? So never think that you will deny the existence of God and do all your in-your-face acts before him and get away with it. So those who think there is no God will get the result of what they have sown. The Apostle Paul notices in Romans 1 verse 26 that if you refuse to know God, very soon, brothers and sisters, very soon you forget how to be who you are supposed to be. That you are supposed to be what? A child of God, a human being. Did you get what I said? In Romans 1 verse 26. Are you guys working there or using my clicker? Which one is working? We have it. All right, thank you. Romans 1 verse 26 says, for this cause God gave them up what? Unto vile affections. For even their women did change the natural use into that which is what? Against nature. That's the result. It's somebody who does not know that there is God. You forget, if you say there is no God, then you forget to be who you are. That God has made you to be what? A human being. Because how would you believe there is a creator if you don't believe that you are a created being? Does that make sense? Yeah. For you to believe that there is a creator or that you are a created being, you have to believe that there is someone who created you. That's just simple. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to know that. You are not accountable to anybody if you say there is no God. That's what you're trying to do. You are trying to run away from believing in God, from obeying God, from doing what he says. And so you don't want to be accountable to anybody. And so can do whatever you want. Nobody has the authority to question your actions. So as we read in verse 26, God allowed them to do whatever they want to fulfill their desires. By the time you know it, women started forgetting the limits of their duties as women. And men relinquished their responsibilities to women. Isn't that confusion? Confusion all over. After today, I don't think you have difficulty diagnosing the heart of a person who acts like a fool, would you? Use the reference book, the Bible. The Bible tells us how the person will behave if you are in doubt of what you are seeing. And you find out that the reason a person will not know the difference between a man and a woman is because God has given him or her up to vile thinking. That's the only reason. If the person has God in him or has God in her, the person will think right. Amen. But if the person does not have God in him or her, what do you think? She will be thinking nonsense. Amen. The person will be a woman and think she is a man. The person will be a man and think he is a woman. Somebody who does that, the Bible says here, I didn't say it, the person says, the person has no knowledge. The person is a fool. That's what the Bible says. Because what? If God is not in you, brothers and sisters, you can act the worst fool. You will act like the worst fool. Because what? There is nothing to draw you back. You have nothing to look up to. There is nothing to tell you what you are doing is wrong. Because what? You think this is the right way to do it. It takes a vile person to act vile. Do you believe that? Verse 27 says that they became sexually confused. All lust, no love. It's all lust. I mean lust, L-U-S-T. No love. So remember though, brothers and sisters, we are still diagnosing a fool's heart, right? Are you sleeping? No. Remember, and Apostle Paul is giving us more light. Apostle Paul is giving us more light into the heart. And he says that this patient is confused. So this patient comes to your clinic, the church, and you're looking at this person and you say, this guy is confused. That's what the Bible says. I didn't say she is confused. How much more foolishness can there be when somebody does not know who he is or who she is? How much more do you want? Romans 1:28. The beginning of verses 26 and verse 28 present a picture worth feeling sorry for. When God says, you don't bother knowing about me, I will not bother caring for you. Chapter 1, verse 28. And even as they did not like to retain God in their knowledge, God gave them over to a reprobate mind to do those things which are not convenient. Brothers and sisters, it's a bad situation when God gives up on you. When God says, I will not care bothering for them. I will not bother caring for them. I will not bother doing what? Caring for them. Because what? They don't care about me. They don't know who I am. They don't know that I am God. God says, okay, go ahead with your foolishness. You agree with me that this is most likely what has happened to our society today. Don't you think so? Yes. As if they are not satisfied with the number of evil behaviors they now have, they continue to invent more. It is like hell has broken loose. Things unimaginable happening in your society, in your community. I'm telling you, there is no God in your heart. The sky is the limit to the level of atrocities you can perform without knowing it. You didn't hear me? I said, if God is not in your heart, the sky is the limit of atrocities you are willing to perform without knowing that you are doing something wrong. You can go to any length. You can go to any length. I was surprised, I was shocked when somebody told me last Sabbath, nobody here, okay, that her daughter took her to court. I said, took her what? Took her to court. Yes. Look, I'm not talking about people I met at Walmart. I'm talking about baptized Seventh-day Adventists. You will act like a fool, do foolish, disgraceful things, and not feel like you have done anything wrong. We have to pray for each other, brothers and sisters. You know, you might have heard me now and say, you know, you don't know what may happen. I pray that it will not happen in your family.
That's right. That's right.
But it can happen anywhere.
Amen.
Don't judge anybody.
That's right.
Don't think that you are immune to all those problems. It can happen anywhere. So the best thing is what? Pray. Pray without ceasing. Because the world is becoming something that you and I cannot describe. The only reason is because this person has a debased mind and you don't accept it. He is willing to take you to court to prove that there is nothing wrong with his or her actions. But I'm telling you, no matter how the court interprets foolishness, it is still the expression of a corrupt mind. Do you believe that? Amen. So the court can say, yes, a man can marry a man, a woman can marry a woman, you can refuse to be pregnant, but what? God still knows the right thing. Amen. God will never change. Yeah. What is right in God's book is right in God's book, right from the beginning until the end. Yeah. God will never change. You can change if you want to, but God, my God, the God that I serve will not change. He is the God of the first time, the beginning, and the end. He never changes. No matter how the court says it. But now, let me ask you, which other way do you expect a fool to interpret a foolish act? If he's foolish, he's going to say that, you know, that's right. Only good, a God-driven one who has chosen God. That's the only one who will say, this is foolish. Yeah. But a foolish heart will say, that's right. So I ask you today, how are you interpreting what you see? How are you interpreting what you see in your society? Apostle Paul goes on and lists a bunch of signs and symptoms to support the diagnosis of a fool's heart in Romans 1:29-31. This heart is filled with all unrighteousness, sexual immorality, wickedness, covetousness, maliciousness, full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, evil-mindedness, whisperers, backbiters, haters of God, violent, proud, disobedient to parents, undiscerning, untrustworthy, unloving, unforgiving, unmerciful. Did you hear all those? Yes. All these, the things God saw when he looked down on earth and said, there is none good. That's what God saw. He looked down. Everything that I listed here, God said, I looked down. Look, go back to Psalm 14. He looked down and everybody had his hand in the cookie jar. Not one is good. If he came to LFUSDA church and God is saying, I can't find anybody at LFUSDA church on June 3rd, 2017. Is that true?
No, he said back.
Nobody is good. I know that the church people, I meant church practitioners, will like to argue that statement. But when I read Romans 1 verse 32, you get what I'm saying? You as church practitioners will say, no, that's not true. But I say, okay, let me read further. In Romans 1 verse 32, it sounds to me that they are as guilty as charged, who, knowing the judgment of God, that they which commit such things are worthy of death, not only do the same, but have pleasure in them that do them. That, so who are those ones who know that those things are wrong? Church practitioners, don't you agree with me? They know. You know that the things are not right. That what you may not be doing all of them. Don't get me wrong. You are not doing all of them. But if you are doing one of them, I will put you on the list. Which one? Which one do you think you are guilty of? Who do you think the apostle is referring to in Romans 1:32? You! It cannot be the people of the world. It has, got to be people who are already in the hospital called church. People who should know better. They have taken medication upon medication that should make them immune, but they have the same problems just like any other person. God looked down and he said, none of them is free. Even when you don't see them as active participants, they are behind the door supporters of those who do them. That's what I read there. Didn't you see it? Verse 32. You don't do them, but you are supporting those who are doing them. You are what? You are guilty also. Our people say, if you are the one collecting the sticks or the rocks for the madman, guess what? They call you also what? A madman. You may not be the real madman, but in actuality, you are a madman. So, who is free? Who is free here? What do you then prescribe, Dr. Paul? If the people in the church are prone to the same ailments as the people outside, what is Apostle Paul, the Dr. Paul now, because we are all practitioners, what is he recommending to his patients? He reminds us in Romans chapter 2, verse 28, he reminds us that it is not the knowledge of the law that justifies us. If what we are inside is not what we pretend to be outside, we are worse than those we think are sick. He goes on to prescribe heart surgery in Romans 2:29. Go through that surgery and get rid of all the debris that you have there. The Holy Spirit is the only qualified surgeon, brothers and sisters. Our current complaint calls for heart surgery, and there is no other way around it. The Holy Spirit is ready to do the surgery. Are you willing to let him in so that everything that is causing you to act foolish will be removed? John the Revelator tells us what will happen immediately you come out of your surgery. As you enter the recovery room, Revelation 3 verse 20 says, behold, I do what? I stand at the door and knock. If any man hear my voice and you open the door, guess what? Christ said, I will come in, I will sup with you and he with me. Did you get that? The Holy Spirit is ready to do the surgery in our heart. Because I didn't say, Paul said that in Romans chapter 1:32 there, that everybody is sick. And it is sickness of the heart. And he says that the only prescribed procedure is to have what? Heart surgery. Are you willing to allow the Holy Spirit to do the heart surgery on you today? Because until that surgery is done, Christ will not come and sup with you. How many people here want to sup with Christ? He is knocking at the door of your heart, of my heart. He said, if you open your heart, if you let me in, I will come in. Brothers and sisters, I don't know how many people here, are friends of the president. Can you imagine hearing, hello? Did I say something? Okay. Or if you are not a friend of president, you know somebody who is a friend of president. And, which means that if you are called to, can you imagine that the president is coming to eat in your house today? How you feel? But this is the King of the universe. And he's asking you, come. Allow my surgeon to do the surgery on you, and I will come. Even right here, when they are taking you into the recovery room, guess who is at the door? Jesus says, I am at the door of the recovery room. You there, I will do what? I will sup with you. Is there anybody here in whose soul you want the Spirit to come and do the surgery? Maybe you haven't allowed the Spirit to come into your heart for a long, long time. And you are now willing to give your heart to Christ. Anybody? That you haven't allowed God to come into your heart before. But now you say, oh Lord, please let the Comforter come and do the surgery in my heart today. Who? Because brothers and sisters, this is it. This is life or death issue here. How many people want to live? How many people want to live? Oh, okay, I see a lot of you. What are you? With your hand down, you're saying, Pastor, prepare for funeral. Okay, but that's too many for me here. Now let me ask the question again. How many people here want to live?
Amen.
Okay. Please live. I want you to live. I don't want you to die. Let me ask you the question again. Have you given your life to Jesus? Have you surrendered your life to the Holy Spirit to do the surgery? If you haven't done it, this is the moment. This is a good moment to come and say, please, I want the Holy Spirit to do that surgery so that God will come and solve it. I pray that will be our decision from now on. That we will stop acting foolish. That we will stop loving each other. That we will stop backbiting. That we will stop whispering, about somebody when we are in church. Because that's what we read there. That if you have all those things, brothers and sisters, you need surgery. If you want to have that surgery, even if you have not come out, I will say let's stand and ask the Lord to come. Because many times we are stubborn. And the only way is for Him to just come and do the surgery in our heart. Let's stand as we agree and sing our closing hymn.